Mind Sparkle series. Like always, we have one speaker who is very distinguished. In this Mind Sparkle series, we bring in people from different walks of life, different vocations of life, who have made a career out of that vocation. They are ordinary people. They are people like you and me and those who live in the neighborhood. But what distinguishes them from you and me is that by the sheer hard work, by the sheer determination, and a sheer plan, they have made out a career for themselves. They've become a domain expert in their area. They've carved out a niche for themselves in the vocation they represent. That sets them apart from different people. It's not that they have been born with silver spoons in their mouth or all resources have been given to them from the very beginning and success was easy. It's not like that. Their journey has also been filled with a lot of difficulties, obstacles, and a lot of areas in which they also had to struggle. It's not that they're born with brilliant situations. They carved out situations which make their journey inspiring for every one of you to listen to. Apart from that, there have been people who have been constantly improving themselves over the ages. It's not that success is constant or permanent. Once you have become or reached a certain destination, your purpose of life ends or your journey ends. It's not like that. They have been constantly improving themselves, improvising in their career, and making a name for itself. Today is a dynamic world, friends. You must remember that nothing is permanent in this world. And more so, particularly in the field of technology. Today's guest is Dr. Shirin Zafar. She represents from technology sector. So you can understand technology every day it changes. Nothing is remaining permanent. What you see today, tomorrow another company may come out with a different way of looking at things. Dr. Shirin Zafar is a very specialist person in the field of wireless technology, may I tell you. She's a computer scientist and she's an assistant professor from Jamia Hamdard University, New Delhi. She has a special interest in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the associated related to those artificial intelligence. She has over 50 years, 50 research papers to her credit, and she has a good academics name in ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and Mendeley. Those are the pages on which research scholars go and search for certain references and citations which they can quote in their writings. So she has a well-developed personality in the field of technology. Today, she is going to represent a topic which is very much relevant now. What are the future prospects for freshers as far as employment is concerned in the post-COVID world? What are the chances of freshers getting a good market, getting a good company, and what will be the pay packages? What are the futures? Whether they will be recruited or not? Will there be a slump, or there may be a positive indicators favoring their recruitment? So, all lot of holistic things are to be discussed today. So, without having any break in between you and me, I would like to invite Dr. Shirin Zafar to take over the session and enlighten our audience on this aspect of freshers recruitment in the post-pandemic world. Dr. Shirin Zafar, the stage is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I would like to start my quote as the word sir said the word journey. Okay. So do it now or sometimes later will become never. So for students, for learners, for us, this is the time to take it now because in this COVID pandemic scenario, we have got this situation. We have got ample amount of time saying that economy is not building up or saying that COVID pandemic has led to certain situation. You cannot have a lockdown scenario. You need to brush up your skills. This is the time to brush up your skills. So starting with this, I would first like to thank Shanawaz sir. And this is a very important, the Mind Sparkle series. And why it's very important for us because this is taking us to a journey. In that journey, we need to specify whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's machine learning, whether it's anything, whether it's management studies, how to bring a collaboration between these particular fields and how to build up. And the most special thing is the social knowledge and connecting with the society. So, sir, and all the audience, the webinars I have given in this pandemic situation around 10 to 12, I have focused on the society, how society can link with the technical space. specification. If you are an engineer, if you are a doctor, if you are any job you are holding upon, so what are your responsibilities and how these responsibilities can be fulfilled? I like to show you all regarding, there's a small presentation Amar will going to be sharing, and that will be taking us to the journey, how we can be connected to this society and how can placements help us. And this is the saying that uncertainty, this is uncertain situation, this is a pandemic situation, but I can tell you the online education, the security, the various basic the companies are in the boost. They are in the boost because as freshers, as students, you need to brush up your skills. You have got ample amount of time. Let's see, is the situation very bad? People think that this is a pandemic situation and you cannot hold upon certain things. There are some problems. Let's look at this video and find out what are the problems that the students are actually facing. With the specification of COVID-19, the college students are facing the situations of whether it's a lockdown, whether it's issues of how to attend the online classes, how to deal with the situation, how to think that you will be placed or not. So these are the problems that the students are going to. These are the pictures that are showing that the students are traveling from one place to another because of the lockdown situation. They have issues with food because they were in their hostels. Then they had the issues with fetching money. Then they had the issues of unemployment. But I'll be telling you that these are the things that are there. But how to overcome this? How to come up with
I
this?
was pursuing my graduation project at Kolkata. We had our placements scheduled on 22nd of April and onwards. No idea what is going to happen. Will the companies appear in the placement, or what number of companies will appear? Will the placements be postponed? Will the placements get cancelled?
अब मेरा फाइनल ईयर था, फाइनल ईयर की पढ़ाई करनी थी, फाइनल ईयर के असाइनमेंट सबमिट करने थे, मेरा प्रोजेक्ट वर्क था, प्लेसमेंट्स आने वाले थे. अब सब कुछ पूरी तरीके से रुक चुका है. ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के नाम पर बस असाइनमेंट्स कॉलेज से आ रहे हैं और अब कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि अब आगे क्या होगा. हमारा पूरा करियर दांव पे लगा है.
हमारी स्टडीज़ भी बहुत इफ़ेक्ट हो रही हैं. हमारी ऑनलाइन क्लासेस चल रही हैं लेकिन उतना अच्छे से पढ़ाई नहीं हो पा रही है. हमारा लास्ट है तो हमको प्लेसमेंट भी चाहिए और प्लेसमेंट का तो अभी कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है क्योंकि कोई कंपनी आ नहीं सकती अभी.
I remember during my time, 98, 99, 2000, was very tough time for India. We had one Pokhran, that was one, जो आपका पोखरन हुआ था श्री वाजपेयी के टाइम, and even the Kargil war. I still remember because of the Pokhran, entire world criticized us and we have been imposed with a lot of sanctions, right? And because of the sanctions were restricted, job market gone. Job market entirely gone. So I still remember many. It's irony. Don't feel why I'm laughing. It's irony. Even from top institute IITs, many of my friends, classmates, batchmates, they, in spite of getting a placement letter, which has got after they said that they will be told because you get a placement letter from a company, I don't want to name the company. They have never been called.
Government is doing something, but we cannot leave everything on the government. We need to brush up. We need to specify that this time we should make to brush up our skills. Now, the thing is that the career that you are looking in this pandemic situation, is the COVID-19 has caused the things really to a lockdown? I don't think so. Why? Because as I told you, the scenario is that number one, we need to be hopeful. Number two is reskill. You have so much time, 4 months you are locked down, still you have online classes going on, you have ample amount of time. Your time from moving from one place to another place is this is now yours. So you need to reskill, you need to brush up, you need to find out the field that in a particular technology, management, social, any of the field, and you need to master it. This is the time, because the companies are looking for a reskilling scenario. The companies are in the scenario finding out the field you love, the technology you love, and then master it. It is very, very important that you need to think on that scenario and master your skill. Now the doubts that come to the student is which field to choose, that you need to specify what should I learn, the skills that you should learn, how much you should learn or not, what companies I should go for, what upskilling and reskilling I require. I'll be answering these doubts of the students throughout this particular journey, because this is the new normal. This is the new normal. Adapt to it. Adapt to it. Freshers are looking for jobs, and there are jobs. Why? Because the jobs are based on that you need to find out the specificity of the right culture. Any job that you are going for, you need to find whether that company has a right culture or not, whether that company is providing you job security or not. And in the essence, you need to know what's the place for you. You need to discover that your working environment is your second home, because I think we pay a lot of time at our jobs rather than at our home. So now the thing is that things you can do to find a job and get a career ahead. Number one is networking. That's very, very important. Networking doesn't specify how to specify that your networking in terms of getting good connections. And I can also specify that there are huge number of LinkedIn, there is number of companies that supports if I am working, when I was in Infosys, I was there and working, and I did a lot of referrals to my other students. So that specification of me working in Infosys and working with very passionate give a networking to all my other students, also my cousins and all. So these are the things that we can rely on, networking in a very specific manner. So when you talk about whether you have LinkedIn, whether you have Indeed, Naukri, Monster, then you have Career Cloud, these are the websites and these are the networking agencies that help you to build a network with a positive aspect. You don't need to go and ask for a job. Job will come on your way. So make sure you update your profile regularly, and also you can have very good profile openings. Second thing is that you need to specify these referrals in a very positive manner. Means you need to go beyond the learning. You need to have a passion for learning, because in this scenario, we'll be having innovative skills. We'll be having working of information, media, technology, career skills, and so on. So this is the time. This is the time to access. This is the time to create the learning environments. Very, very important, because I started my journey, although from Infosys, but now I am teaching. So that teaching and the software both are giving me a connectivity to build my career in terms of both as a software expert as well as a teaching expert. Second thing is you need to adapt to the trending skills. We cannot say that we are learned. I also say that I am a learner. So at every aspect of life, you need to focus on the trending skills. You need to build up your resume. Secondly, you need to have so much of time for online certifications. You have Coursera, you have Udemy, and these are the courses, once you do, they will be very helpful for the companies to get you hired, because companies want some extra skills apart from your degree. Degree is one thing that may be required, that is important requirement, but apart from this, the other thing that is internship. Very, very important. In this particular scenario, we have so many online internships being offered, and these internships are a very, very important scenario both for students and we also, when I take up courses on Coursera, I have taken so many courses on LinkedIn. Next is have remote and freelance jobs or internships. As I told you, these internships, these courses are not only for the students, but as everybody, as a learner at any age, you can take up some job, you can take up some work that will be a feasible scenario in this pandemic situation. So we need to forward our journey and our road to success. The other thing is that for getting any types of internships, we find where to go. Then you have Internshala. I am myself the Internshala coordinator of my university, and I'm seeing that from this pandemic situation, from 4 months, around 100 of my students have got, and that are internships that are offering them not only money, but they are upgrading their skills. And I have seen with my students that when they are working hard in a particular company, they are getting hired by the same company. So doing an internship and doing internship in a very successful manner, they are getting hired. Then we can focus upon that. We have Internshala, Let's Intern, Hello Intern. These are some of the names I have highlighted because they are very, very important for any fresher, for any kind of a student, in order to be more skilled up, in order to get a passionate job during this pandemic situation. Then forwarding is the specification. We need to move forward that preparing for a job interview. That's very important. Most of the times when I talk for my students in February, they had a particular job in their hand. Some of them had the job in their hand, some didn't have. So now what is happening? You can utilize your time for preparing for your job interviews. And job interviews, the most specific scenario for job interviews is getting your resume built. Nowadays, we also have various students who are taking the same resume one day to one company and another day the same resume to another company. No, based upon the necessity of the job, based on the target of the company, you need to specify, you need to build up your resume. Okay, so now further focusing on, we need to specify that the checklist, they need to have a checklist. We need to have a focusing environment for the job interview. And when we talk about job interviews, there are number of sites. And if I talk about 10 specific sites that are important for interview preparation, we have the specification that they mostly check for is the experience, the communication, and education, and so on. So when we talk about preparation for interview, let's see that what are the basic steps that is you need to follow. Now, since you say that you have abundance amount of time in this particular scenario, now what you do, at most of the companies are recruiting remotely. So what you can do, you can have a session, you can have a mock interview, you can have your interview preparations being done. You can call one of your friend, he or she can ask you some questions. So build up that scenario. You need to build up that formulation. You need to start the interview preparation. That's very important. You cannot say that I'll be applying and then starting. No, first get started. Meanwhile, you'll get an interview call and then go forward and crack that interview because you are well prepared. The most important thing is you need to be well prepared. You don't know when the call can come, because for final year students, there is a situation that maybe this session, because this session has lagged a little bit, so their interview calls will be little later. Some are already in job, but those who are waiting, they can brush up their skills. Now, when we talk further, we have number of companies that are providing interview preparation, starting with the Ambition Box. Then you have the Career Up, Coder Carrier, Interview Up, India Bix, and so on. Now, normally when we talk about people going for SSB interview, so you need to think on these scenarios that what interview you are preparing for. And for that, you need to brush up some 10 basic questions that normally are asked in their interview, because me, when I was in my final year, was hired in HCL and Infosys. Then I went towards Infosys, but the two companies, most of the things, the scenarios of how to crack the interview of HCL and Infosys, the things were asked in common. So like it was, tell me about yourself, describe about yourself, your failure, your strength, your hobbies, and like asked by various of the companies. So you need to be like, if somebody asks just a quick answer, your communication skills need to be brushed up in a very, very specific manner. Because I have seen in my department, students, maybe they have 75%, but they get hired. Students who are having 90%, maybe not hired because their communication skill is not very much effective. So the thing is that you need to reskill. You need to see, this is a normal scenario that we have in an interview. So when you have 6 or 7 people sitting around you and asking you questions, so you get little nervous. When you are already started a mock interview, as I told you, when you have already started preparation for a mock interview, then why there is a fear? Why you are feeling nervous? Because the thing is that, just as I told you, you should boost up your confidence. And that's confidence building, because you are at your home, you can call your mentor, a friend, a family, and just have that mock interview going on. Ask them, make them your interviewer, and give them a list of questions. Ask me and see how you respond. Nowadays, we are skilling up. We are going with the scenario at our home and brushing up our skills. I will tell you the PPT that I have made, or this one, because normally we had that PowerPoint was the best scenario for making PPT. But in this pandemic, I got to know that Sway is much better. Okay, so all these PPTs made in Sway. So I learned a new skill, that making PPT on Sway. So these are the things, refinement. And the thing that you need to understand is plan, but don't plan too much. The thing is that if you say that, as I told you, I was hired in HCL, I was hired in Infosys. So, but the thing is that planning was done according to my preparation. So don't plan too much, just brush up your skills, because you need to specify that you need to go with an open mind. Whenever you are going for multiple interviews, you need to have that specification, that confidence that you are going to catch up an interview. If you don't catch up, don't be depressed. Your time will come. So it's a planning, but not a planning of too much. So opportunities will be coming to your mind. To keep an open mind, just experiment can be done. Maybe not this job. I may go for a job which is maybe paying me less, but giving me a better environment. Is a job which will boost my career. So we need to think. We can have a mentor. I mentor my students. All my, like, I've taken 3 classes. All my 180 students, I'm their mentor, open to them. Anytime they can call me, they can WhatsApp me. So we, as skilled people, can become mentors. We can help the students out in order to come out of this situation. Now, the thing is that, as I told you, further going on, there are many of the online facilities available that will be very much helpful in your interview preparation. So once you have cleared your interview, or suppose you have not cleared your interview, you are going for the preparation, just focus on that. When we were developing the online education, we had, suppose, the Coursera courses are so much nowadays preferred by companies, that people and students who do Coursera courses, pass them out are getting very much good opportunities. Nowadays, the ICT Academy is also helping. That is IIT Roorkee, IIT Kanpur. I myself did 3 courses of AICT, of machine learning and deep learning. So as I told you, every time we are learners. We cannot say that I have done a PhD and my learning stops. No. As students, you need to understand that learning never stops. Further, we can move toward this PPT forward, and I'll show you some more important facts. Now, the most important thing I told you, you have to build a resume that attracts a recruiter's eye. Very important. You cannot just randomly write things like 10 lines or 20 lines. You should have a very attractive and a catchy interview resume. Why? Because, and also a resume that is specific of a particular company. Suppose one company requires big data skills, another company requires machine learning skills, the third company is a company which is specific for healthcare development. So you need to be focused. You need to specify that your your resume is very much built on the characteristics of a particular company. Now you need to answer that, are you suitable? Are you a suitable candidate for the job role? You need to develop those answers. If the company asks you that why we should choose you, are you suitable candidate? Then usually when I prepared myself for Infosys and HCL, what I did, I went to their website. I catched up some important lines, and when I related those lines in front of them, they were very happy. They said, "You did homework for us." So just do a homework. Go and prepare yourself by doing little bit homework. That's very necessary. The good way is to check various job descriptions from top companies, as I told you, and see what skills they are providing you. To the students, what skill they require, what courses they catch up, and do that course. Just get your skilling up for that particular course and courses for better opportunities. Very, very important. The scenario is that if a company wants some specific need, a data scientist, suppose a company requires a deep learning expert, so try to focus on that, because they may hire you on the basis of your skill that you have in their scrutiny. They will be scrutinizing you on the skills. Many times students say that we are not shortlisted. You are not shortlisted because your resume is not carrying the potential features of what the company require. Maybe you have, but your resume is not giving that aspects of a good highlighting your important points. So you need to focus on what are your positive points, and also specify your negativities in a lighter manner, not in a specific manner, because company says if you have so many negative qualities, then why should I hire you? So the hiring thing is always specific by highlighting your positive aspects. Okay, now we shall move further, and we'll be specifying more on the things. As I told you that you need to check out in your resume that your learning, your internships, your training graphs are progressive. Very important. As I told you, in this past 4 months, not boasting about myself, I have done some courses that are helpful for me, for my students, because me doing courses will be beneficial for my students. So just see that every time you are a learner, you don't have to forget this. Now, what is prepare a resume that clearly shows a positive learning, your internships, your training graphs, to attract the recruiter. Very important. You need to attract the recruiter with your resume itself, because the first thing is the shortlisting. Then comes, is your resume customized for the job search? Very much. You cannot say that you take a mobile and that mobile single piece is being related to every person. Buying a mobile are the specification to helpful in my regards. Second person buying, so customize. Your resume needs to be customized, and very important nowadays, since people don't have very good communication skills, so they do lot of errors in their grammatical errors in their resume itself. So just overturn these grammatical errors. Nowadays we have so many online tools for checking the grammar, for checking how the English is presented. So we can do that. that is in our hand in order, because shortlisting is done based on referral is one of the thing, your resume is another thing. And I can tell you, although this is a pandemic situation, I myself as the Internshala coordinator, companies are hiring. This is not the time that companies are not hiring. The students are going and doing internships and getting hired on the basis of the internship only, because they are posing so much good culture, good work in their internship itself. Okay, so let's move further. The thing is that during the time of your interviews or during the time of your resume preparation, you need to focus upon, are you result oriented? Very important. If I say that I can do only this kind of a work and my employer wants other like a slight modification of my work, saying no will not serve your purpose. In any kind of a job, in any kind of an internship, if you are not skilled for it, just tell that I will try my best to do. Just saying an abrupt no will be not a result oriented person specification. So the thing is that add your achievements in your resume, add your recognitions, not too much quantity should be there. Your resume should not contain too much quantity, but quality. Then also a one-liners can be added, which specify that how much skilled you are. Also, you can elaborate, the elaborations of your skills can be done at the time of the interview, but during your resume building, you can have a very sophisticated, customized resume built only for that specific organization. So you need to have a customized, a very specific resume built for the organization. Otherwise, your shortlisting will face other issues. Okay, let's see how these things will match up in order to be more and more specific in terms of, not only in terms of jobs. And I say these are the things not only for a computer IT professional. These are the things not only a person who is doing one kind of job. These are combined scenarios. These are the scenarios which will be helpful not only for one person, they will be helpful for a person maybe in whichever field they are. Okay, now I will also be telling you that the various types of things that a company likes is a multitasker. The students, if I ask a particular student, you have this particular skill, second particular skill, and third. If I get all these things, I may say he's a multitasker. So why not become a multitasker? And as I told you from the starting till this time, that you have ample amount of time. You have so much time to get refined, not only to on one skill, but also just a thing that is Tableau. Tableau is one of the software that is for data visualization. Is not only for computer students, many students can opt for. A 14-day trial version you can take and learn it. And it will be helpful in your various type of academic activities, various research projects, and so on. The thing is that recruiters select you for a particular job role, but they also prefer candidates who are multitasking, who are in the way of taking up responsibilities, like catching up things, like coordinating the team skills, the guiding light. Those students who are in this particular scenario, they are catched up because the person in the HR or the person who is hiring, they have very much good knowledge. They catch up students as such and say that this is a person, although technically he may have 75%, but 60%, but he's a very, he will be capable of leading a team. He has very good leadership qualities. So a perfectly written resume can do wonders for your job search and help you land in the desired job. Every time thinking that I will say to that person, he will get me an interview done, I will ask that person. Referral is another thing. Referral is a thing that is being done in terms of the employee, and the employee gives the referral to other students. But every time thinking that you may ask for a job to a person rather than going and looking for jobs is a specific thing. You need to differentiate between those two things. That first prepare yourself, first build up your whether it's your resume, whether it's your skills, and then go for a job search. Now further is that there are number of interview preparation websites. And I myself have worked very much through the freshersworld.com. You have the Glassdoor and so many interview preparation sites that are quite helpful. Like for one company, you can just write the company name and you will get the sample papers of that company. You have Glassdoor, you have Interview Buddy, you have Geeks for Geeks, Fresher World. What 15 years before when I prepared from freshersworld.com for Infosys as well for HCL as well for TCS. So the journey was very good. We got so many good papers. We got so many good the questions being asked, the inputs from the people being selected, and we have questions from that, and our preparation was very nicely being done. So just brush up your skills. You have got time, you have got passion, you have got these online sources. 15 days back, our sources was less, but now there was only Freshers World. Now you have ZBlog, you have Lead Code, you have Puzzlyfire, you have Career Blog, there's Career, and there are many scenario, your machine learning, your mobile development, marketing, and nowadays we have the UI and the UX designing also being done in a very specific manner, then blockchain, IoT. So these are the things that are in demand, and these are the things that will be helpful you in order to prepare your journey. So you cannot say that I don't have the skill. You have the time, go and brush up your skill. You can go forward, Ahmed. These are the things that now we have these, yes, this one. When we talk about the software industry, see the branches. You cannot say that software industry is only for coding. Nowadays, you have big data, you have visualization, you have testing. A person says, I'm not very good in coding, so go for ethical hacking, go for game development, go for mobile apps, go for blockchain. You have a public cloud, you have visualization, you have web designing, because when it's little difficult. So when people say that we are not software engineers, we cannot go for it. Now that concept is totally nullified, because when we talk about the newest education policy, it says that everybody can learn everything. So if you are an arts person, if you are a management person, still you can go for any kind of a learning. And the industries that are providing those services are your various Flipkarts, your Essentials, Infosys. Infosys is my company that I was a part of it, and it had a very good working environment. So it was my starting company. It provided me by boosting, and although I was not too much inclined toward teaching, but I was brought toward teaching due to some issues, but I love now. I love teaching because teaching has given me a platform to prepare other students for Infosys. So now maybe I am not a part of Infosys, but my students are, an ample amount of my students are a part of Infosys. Now you have, as I told you, this have already been discussed, that you have AI, artificial intelligence, the deep learning, machine learning, various kinds of skills that are, and this is the time you have a short course, a 4 hours course, a 5-hour course. Maybe that is a course that is help you to guide on a particular scenario. That will not help you to learn, but at least guide that maybe you require this skilling or the other skilling. Also now when we talk about the scenarios in which you can build your jobs. So these jobs are the specification that, for example, if you want to build your resume, also, okay, so these are the areas, and I have already discussed these areas. And also now for a computer scientist, you have a front-end developer, you have a back-end developer, also RPA, robotic process and automation. This is the field nowadays very much utilized in this COVID pandemic situation. And I can tell you 12 startups have been built itself nowadays in India only. And these are the startups of Bangalore, IIT Delhi, we have Gurgaon based startups. So we cannot say that India is lagging behind in artificial intelligence. The 12 startups that are being built are all the startups that are being built by our And lastly, as I always specify, I end my talk with a quote. People will forget what you say, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget what you make them feel. So this PPT and my lecture was a scenario in order to make you feel that this is the situation you need to rise up upon. You cannot say that in this situation we'll be just lagging behind and saying that government is not doing something, or we have issues with this, or we have issues with that. No, this is the grilling up situation, and we will overcome this as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shirin Zafar. It has been a stellar lecture, to the point, focused, very professional. In fact, I'm very happy that a lecture which is supposed to guide the student, that particular thing has been done today. It was a very well nurtured lecture, professionally prepared. And I would request Dr. Shirin Zafar to share her PPT with all the students. So I will ask my admin to distribute if you give that permission. It's a very well balanced PPT.
No issues.
So audience, take help of those things which has been made by madam. It's a very good information source. And let me tell you, there are certain takeaways from her lecture which I was listening very carefully. One of them is that you cannot blame anybody except yourself. You just cannot wait for the government to do things for you. You have to create. Government can only facilitate. The action has to come from you. There are so many avenues. Number one, you cannot blame anybody. Second is that you build up social media referrals, like she mentioned about LinkedIn, other job related social medias are there. Build up your referrals, build up your networkings. Third is that build up your resume. It's not that your resume is a permanent, static and very watertight document. As you progress in life, your skill sets also gets increased and addition happens. So update your profile, social media profiles and your professional CV. Third point, which I felt is very necessary, is that courses are there for the taking. Sites like Udemy, or for that matter, Coursera, hundreds and thousands of courses are there which make you learn new things so that you are competitive in the market. Recently, Google came out with 4 certificate courses in which they will treat these 4 certificate courses as equivalent to 4 years of graduation degree courses. Can you imagine? That belongs to project management, that belongs to user experience design, and then one is about data analytics. So 3-4 courses are there. So think about those courses also from the websites like Udemy and Coursera, and build up your skill set. Do not stay only static with your engineering degree. Build up your course set as with the relevant industry, and then go to the market to seek employment opportunities. Continuing with that, 2-3 questions have come, and there are so many questions in my mind also, Dr. Shirin Zafar. First, I will start with a question which an audience has asked. What about changing of your career in the middle? Do you advise changing of careers? Like you were mentioning about this new education policy, everybody can jump into anybody. A music person can learn physics also, and a physician can also learn about music. So both way interchange of ideas can take place. But this is a very different field. Would you allow a software engineer to go back to his core engineering, say mechanical engineering? He's from mechanical engineering, most of them are in software. But ulta does not take place from software to mechanical. Would you advise change of career midway or right now? Dr. Zafar.
Sir, actually, the thing is that the change of your stream, I don't think so. Like new skills, like if you say that I may be passionate towards music, I may be passionate towards new skills. Skill is there that you can adopt to. Skills are available and skills you can do, but spending your 4 to 5 years of a particular, suppose a mechanical engineering or a computer engineering, and suddenly going drifting your career to other thing will not get you in the depth of that that particular subject. When I did, sir, I did my diploma, I did my BTech, my MTech, all in computer engineering. Many of the people told me that go, because during when I was doing MTech, electronics was on boost. So many of the people told me, go, you can easily join electronics MTech. But the thinking that was in my mind, that if I at that particular time do an MTech electronics, so my study of computer will be vanished, because now I'll be into a new field. So field change, I personally don't suggest. Skill change, I can say that you can have more and more skills being taken into.
A beautiful answer. In fact, I also concur with you, Dr. Zafar. Field change is a very, very difficult and I think the last resort. Person should not change the field. Otherwise, the core competence and the domain expertise will be lost forever. But yes, you can build up new skills in that field. There are hundreds of skills to be built up. Like you said about coding, if you don't like coding, go for user experience, go for this testing of software. There's so many allied industries. If a big industry comes, there are so many peripheral industries also that comes in that sector. So think about that which you like and then associate yourself with that. Continuing with that, I would like to ask you,
yes,
please
sir.
go ahead.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I'll tell you, Google, I think you may be knowing there's a college in Sati Vidisha. So there's a very renowned college in Vidisha, which is in Madhya Pradesh. So they hired a student only on the basis of his ideas. Google came for hiring and they told we have expert coders. What you will talk, they will code. So they gave him a package of 65 lakhs, and that only because the student had great ideas. He in 1 minute can produce some good ideas. So he was only hired on for his ideas only. And because he didn't have any coding skills, so he was not hired on coding skills. He was a software engineer, but he told, I am not a good coder. They told, we don't require a coder. You come, we'll pay you for your ideas. And he's hired there, so working very efficient.
That's a great welcome change. By the way, the recruiters are hiring. They're not only hiring for your core competence or the core engineering knowledge or the core subject knowledge. They are also hiring for your broad vision, your ideas, the perception of the future, how futurist you can be, how futurism looks to you. So there can be no excuses for not getting hired. Let me tell you, I'm a little blunt. You have to build up your core competence in area. If you are not have core competence, build up your vision and get associated with this market. The market will be huge. I'm telling you, it's not that Corona has just dwindled the market for some time, but definitely the industry remains the same. The expectation remains the same. Google will be Google. There will be big avenues also coming up, and especially in India. I'm very hopeful that a lot of employment opportunities will be coming our way. Next question is Dr. Shirin Zafar. Kindly tell me 5 jobs of the future which people can look forward to. As a person who is a fresher or going to be an engineer just in the first year, what future 5 jobs are there to stay and which people can look forward to? Your suggestions.
Sir, with the current, if we go with the current pandemic situation, as I told you, 12 startups in India have been built, and those 12 startups are nowhere built by only, we are saying only IIT students have been built. They have been built by simple students, maybe a person who may be coming from engineering from a private institution also, or maybe they may be a person of artwork who may be coming from different background. The Gurgaon startup I am talking about. So machine learning, as I told you, deep learning, artificial intelligence are the game changers right now, because they will be helpful in order, because if we the startup I am telling you, they are building simple drones, and those drones nowadays, they were so much helpful in finding out the red zones, how the people were in behaving in the social distancing or not. And so what they have done, they have utilized the same hardware. The CCTV camera is same. They have used that CCTV camera with artificial intelligence just to monitor how the people are behaving in the social gathering. So a message can be sent to them, alert can be sent to them that you are not wearing a mask. So they are building those. Now, other technologies apart from AI, ML, and DL, mobile development is also utilized nowadays. Nowadays, are e-learning platforms. So many people are developing those e-learning platforms, because I think this situation at least will be remaining in 6 months, 1 year. We don't know, because of the dynamic scenario of this particular situation. So many good e-learning platforms have been built. Like I myself is taking my class through Google Classroom. We have the so many Talent Expo. We have the Talent LMS, and so many platforms that are currently totally being built on the scenario of this pandemic. Now, also, sir, IoT and blockchain. I think, sir, I am not saying this because they are related to computer engineering specification, nowadays people who are coming in IoT may be having a electronics background. The people coming into a blockchain maybe have a management background. So these skills are not the skills specified to a particular theme. These are the skills that just require refinement. So in my answer visualization, I'll also tell you, I last week only in the AICT workshop, I gave a lecture on Tableau. Tableau is also coming very effective. So you have so many data visualization tools because they are very specific for people who don't require coding, who are not very skilled up in coding. They can go because they will simple drag and drops, and data analysts and scientists. These are the things that will be, I think, for 5 years or 6 years, they will be in the game changing scenario.
Very well answered, Dr. Zafar. In fact, you have mentioned almost 10 of the areas which can be a game changer for future employability. And I'm quite hopeful that artificial intelligence and its associated field will be more than that. In fact, it is just starting. The revolution has just begun. So we can think that it will last at least a decade or more than that. And then the sixth generation artificial intelligence or technology transfer may take place. But as of now, these are the areas in which Dr. Zafar is very optimistic, and I feel that the audience should also take note of. It's not that everybody converges to computer, but a solution is not only about computers. A lot of engineers from every background come together and find a solution. Solution is a multidimensional field. It's not that only computer engineering will give, electronic engineering will give a solution to a problem. All engineers sit together, and then a lot of dimensions are there to a problem, and they sort out. So everybody has a future. Next, continuing with that, you mentioned about resume. How important is a resume in getting a person selected or rejected in a company? As a recruiter, suppose you are a recruiter, how much weightage would you give to a resume while interviewing a candidate?
So at least 30%. If you ask me the score from 100%, 30% the shortlisting, because nowadays when we talk about my students or myself as a student, 15 years back, if I was selected in Infosys, my resume was very specific. As I told you, quantity doesn't matter. Don't write too much. You got this percentage, you got that percentage. It is specific. Just build a simple table. That table shows you have this percentage, you have this grade, and so on. And the thing is that you need to highlight upon the things required by that company, sir. That's also very important. Suppose a company is searching for a data analyst and you are saying, no, I am a machine learning expert. So the first thing they'll say, okay, you are a machine learning expert. Because nowadays companies, they in a very specific manner. They'll say, okay, when the opportunity for machine learning will come, we'll call you. So why, if you are going for that job, so build your customization is very important. You have to customize your resume according to the needs, because this is your first, as we say, that first impression is the last impression. The resume is the first impression, because if you are not shortlisted, then how will you go and give the interview? The shortlisting requires at least I'll give a score of 30%, because it is the key eye catcher. And the thing that is very important in a resume, a good picture. Sorry to say, sir, many of the students, when they give us the resume, their picture is of their 7th class. Their picture is of 8th class. So I think most of the HRs, they catch up a student or catch up a person from his eyes only, because I have seen they are very effective HRs. So giving them a photograph that is very much not inclined, they said, okay, let's check the one. Have a good picture. Nowadays, we are so much inclined towards Facebook and so much to social media. Get a good picture. Yeah, get that, not a glamorous picture. I don't want to say that, but a good picture. That's very important, because that will catch. Then your important highlights. If you have done specific, like many of the students are coordinators in our university. Many of the students are intern shala managers. They hire them as intern shala service providers. So highlight those and highlight them in bold, and things that you are not too much, like if a student has less percentage, don't highlight it too much. Why to specify that you have a less percentage? Because they are hiring you, or they're hiring everybody who have a 60+ percentage. So don't focus on the thing that you are not inclined towards. Focus on the things that you are inclined towards. That's the most important.
Absolutely fine. I fully agree with you. CV or the resume is the personality written on a piece of paper. Even if you are not present, the recruiter and the senior HR people, by just looking at your resume and your photo, can understand what sort of personality you are. And 30% is the criteria which Dr. Zafar is giving to your CV. So resume and these are the things which make or break your career. Do not take it lightly just because you represent yourself and you feel that whatever you write, ultimately your certificates and your mannerism will tell. No. In this post-pandemic world, I can tell you, even without your interview, the resume can be written and you can be selected. Such is the power of resume. Continue with that resume. I'd like to ask, there is something called cover letters. In Europe and North America, most of the people use cover letter. What is this, Dr. Zafar? What is different from the resume, cover letters?
Sir, I think the cover letter is a kind, because not only in getting job, whenever I am going for some good journals like a Scopus or SCI journals, and I am posting my paper, they themselves ask me for a cover letter. So that cover letter is a thing that is highlighting, for example, if I talk about my paper, so that cover letter is highlighting upon my paper and how my paper is linked to that journal. That's the most important thing. And second is your communication skill. I think they check a lot on your communication skill. Writing vague lines, writing so many lines in a cover letter will not serve the purpose. Be very much focused, be very much specific. Now coming to the students, for students, a company also require the same cover letter scenario. How as a student, because many a times what they do from their resume, before their resume, they check the cover letter. So in the cover letter, they check on how as a student you are connected to that company. So get some good, I think, good synonyms, get some good grammatical connectivity of a company to yours. So that's the writing skill. I think they check a lot in the cover letters. So you need, because your resume is you, but your cover letter is how you are connected to that company. So that's very important in a cover letter, sir.
Yeah, that's a very technical point and well explained. In fact, the audiences should take note of for your future employability. And when you apply to good companies, please see that your cover letter has grammatical good synonyms and you are free from grammatical errors, and whatever you write, you have yourself written. It's not that your personality, when you speak, your English is something else and your written part is something else, which does not gel together. So do not try to hoodwink those kind of things. Always have an honest personality, whether on paper or on the ground, whenever you face one-to-one. So cover letters also very important. And continuing with this question, Dr. Zafar, there's one question which I think is a little different. So I think your idea is needed in that. One audience is asking me, she is running a private school, okay? She wants to be in touch with her students who are from the less privileged part of the society. She's doing a sort of a kind of a social service, and those people cannot afford mobile phones. So she is not able to connect with those children to know whether they have forgotten their subject or whether they are up to the date to the syllabus for the 4 or 5 months. How to connect with them, and they don't have mobile phones or their parents. You can understand the precarious situation. So what is the way in which, what innovation can be done to connect with those students and know whether they are doing well mentally or whether educationally they have forgotten what has been taught? So such great digital divide may be an impediment to education, future education. So how would you advise her to settle this issue? In fact, I also have 1 or 2 ideas, but I would like to hear from you. Then I can also add to your ideas. Dr. Zafar.
I think, sir, digital divide is there. In the Indian scenario, there's a huge digital divide. I myself have heard so many stories in which there was a student who committed suicide because his father was not able to bring him a smartphone for the online class. I think, sir, there is a social responsibility factor here. Myself, suppose I have 3 laptops. I am currently using 1 laptop. Why not give the laptop, or maybe there's a laptop which is at your home, it is not doing anything, just give to that student. They are your student. And the thing is that that laptop is in your home and doing nothing. a mobile phone. Normally, sir, we as privileged societies, I can say, comparing to them, we always act as privileged society. We have 2 phones, we have 3 phones. Each one help one. That's the most important thing. Go have a people say, no, we are on a lockdown. Wear a mask. Apply sanitizer. Just knock at their door. Just ask them, do you require something? Just have a call to them. Do you have things that I can provide you? This is just a social responsibility. This is nothing related to technical knowledge. This is the social responsibility. In this pandemic situation, sir, I have seen that government may have done many things, and they have done, because of the dynamic situation, somewhere something can last, but the society has done a lot. I have myself seen that people are feeding poor with food. They are helping them in many types of situations. So why we not? I have an extra laptop at home. I have an extra phone at home. Just give to them. And if I can help 3, those 3 can help 6. This is a chain that will be going to continue. So I think there's just a little knock required. Go connect to them, maybe any form, meeting to them, connecting to them through a phone, connecting to them through a knock, anything. Maybe, sir, what happens, some students are in a remote area. They are very far away, so we cannot find any situation to connect to them. But maybe we have some of our relatives there. So connect to them. They will go and help them. So this is a circle, which is, because the world is small world. If we want to do something, we will be able to do something. But if we say, no, we are very scared of corona, we are very scared of going out, then nothing can be done.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It's a digital divide, and it has more to do with our compassion and our empathy factor rather than technical. In fact, we have to show our humanness in such situation. We should use our privilege for the betterment of society. There are so many privileged people like us who are owning 2, 3 phones. Why not use our privilege for the less privileged? It is a chain reaction. Humanity is a chain reaction. And I fully agree with you. There are certain suggestions which I would like to add to you for the audience who has put up these questions. Kindly go to the neighborhood and tell your problem. Knock at the doors of the people whom you feel they may having 1 or 2 phones. Certainly they are good people. Until unless you don't ask them, how do you know whether they are good or bad? They will definitely help you. I'm pretty much confident. Take from them, number 1. Number 2, if they're not giving, some of them, ask them to be present at a particular point of time in the student's house. And with their phone, you check 1 hour whether how they are performing. Over a period of time, 1 week, 1 day, somebody like that, you rotate that phone through people. Everybody will agree to share their phone for half an hour, 1 hour in this education cause. I'm telling you, nobody can say no in this sort of situation. So these are the second option. Third option is go to the social media, ask for crowd sourcing of that product. I have seen on LinkedIn, and I know a person also who is giving away old laptops through through his friends who are working in big companies. He has collected a lot of laptops and phones and is giving away to the less privileged of the society. He's doing that work in the pandemic. So try to connect with them by searching on the social media. Fourth one is go and connect with the local corporator or the local MLA or the local MP or the local officers. Come to us. You have to take action. You just cannot think that by sitting in the home, solutions will come. You also have to work for those less privileged. So I'm pretty much sure that the audience who has put that question, please contact me. My number, everybody knows, I will write down at the end. Please connect with me. I will also try to help you. So this is one of the aspects which actually hit me from inside. So we talk about a lot of things, but we should also be compassionate about the things which our less privileged brothers are not having. So another thing which I would like to ask you, Dr. Zafar, is that how positive you are about the employment situation in the coming 2-3 years. Those people who will be graduating out this year and the next year, what do you foresee for the employability in India as well as outside the Indian market?
So for me, employability is totally related to your skills. We cannot say that there's a pandemic situation. Maybe the pandemic situation wouldn't have arisen. Still, you haven't brushed up your skills, number 1. Secondly, staying at home at 4 months, doing nothing, okay, and then saying that there are no jobs, government is not doing anything, there are no job outside, will not serve the purpose. The thing is that if you are skilled, if you have brushed up your knowledge, And if you are not able to still get the job, then there may be issue. Then there can be and also the thing is that nowadays what is the thing is that rather than going for too much earning of money in your starting job, just get the right company. As I told you, sir, in the starting when I was selected in HCL and Infosys. No any damages to HCL or any issues to HCL, but I got my salary in HCL was double as compared to Infosys. But I joined Infosys. Why? Because the employability, the structure of Infosys, the working scenario of Infosys, the treatment of employees of Infosys is 100% more much better as compared to HCL. My friends criticize me that you are leaving so much good salary and you are going towards Infosys, and why not towards HCL? I didn't went, but I think my decision was good because many of my friends left job after 6 months. Maybe some issues. I'm not saying that there's a fault in the company, but I think running for money is not always the specificity for a student. I always tell to my students, maybe you get a 5,000 bucks less, a 10,000 bucks less. Go for the right kind of an environment. Go for the right kind of a structure. Maybe you are getting less money, but there may be a startup. There may be IIT, some students, they have started so many startups and they hire students. So they treat students so well because they are coming from the student background. They know how to deal with the employees. So I think getting a good job is totally in your hands. The first one is not relying on and criticizing government. Brush up your own skills. And still, if you have issues, if you are very much skilled, not getting a job, I think those cases would be 1 or 2%. But I can tell that there may be around 60, 70% who are just blaming and saying that there are no jobs. Jobs are there. You are not preparing for yourself for the jobs.
Yeah, well said. I think the main takeaway from this answer has been that do not run after money. In fact, if there is a difference of even 10,000, 15,000, but the environment which you are getting will be lifelong. Imagine somebody joining Google 20 years back and leaving AOL and other companies. Imagine where he would be. So always go for those places where you can learn. They can treat you well, even if the salary is less. See the future prospects and do not just run for the sake of name and money. So you have to have some patience as far as your career has to be built up. And it has been well answered that money is not the only specificity for your career. The environment and the ethical concern of the company and the surroundings are also very much important. And especially during this period, a lot of prospects are there. In fact, we are positive that Indian scenario and the world scenario has to have a positive turnaround. Things cannot remain like that, and have a very, very good signs for the Indian economy. In fact, it will boom. The way things are shaping up and things are coming up after this pandemic, a lot of things are coming up in India, and future employability will be high. We are pretty positive about that. So as a tradition, at the last, we always ask our speaker of the day to give in gist some few guru mantra or something which they can imbibe in their heart and mind for success in life. What is the small message you'd like to give to our audience which can last them lifetime? Dr. Zafar, from your own experience.
Although, sir, I am not a guru. I am a learner. I always think I am myself as a learner, but I am a guru for my students. So in that aspect, it will be not be a guru month. It will be just a guideline. And that guideline is, number one is be human. Very, very important. You need to be human. Your artificial intelligence, your machine learning will not last. Your humanity will last. Number two is always be positive. Positive in terms of, I have seen people going into depression, sir, in this pandemic situation, maybe due to money, maybe due to other issues, they are losing their jobs or something like that. But I think we need to be positive, and the situation is to be specified that trust in God, things will get better. And when something, we say that when something less fortunate comes, there are signs that better future is paving the way. So maybe your 4 months, your 6 months not in job may be a problem, but you have a bright future upcoming. And also, sir, the thing is that you need to save money. I think that is very important. In this pandemic situation, we have seen that luxury can be avoided. I myself didn't made any new suit for my Eid as well as Bakr. I was okay with my old suit, and we didn't buy any luxurious projects. So these things can be avoided. So it's maybe this is a pandemic situation this year, maybe another, sometimes other thing can arise. So at least have some money in your pocket, so that so you can help yourself and also others.
Message well received. In fact, 3 points have come out from your message. One is that be human. There cannot be any alternative to being a human. You are human, you have to be a human. And in this situation, when we are seeing a lot of less privileged people out there, it is our humanly brotherhood and our concern for each other that keeps this civilization of human race alive. We should not forget that. So that humanity has to be there, even if you are CEO or a worker or whatsoever. You are in a position to always help your less privileged. Use that privileged position to help the other, number one. Second is that be positive. There is nothing else you can do other than being positive. A positive person is the one who will lift others out of depression. You cannot go into depression, afford to do so. Be positive, things will open up. Every time the sunshine comes after a cloudy day and a cloudy night, after every night there is a day. We should never forget that, be positive. And her third message, which we always forget, is that save money. In fact, is the Warren Buffett principle that do not buy things which you don't need. In fact, when you need things, you will not have money to buy for that need. So save, save, save. That is what the government also tells us. Our elders also have been telling us. It's not that you have a money to splurge. No, you save it. You can save that money to help others also. That is a form of also a kind of a good deed you are doing, an investment. A secure humanity is a security for you also. Why don't you understand? So we use our money, our humanity, our positivity to help each other. And let me tell you, Dr. Zafar, it has been a wonderful session. Right from the beginning, it has been a very professional and productive enterprise. You have been to the point, just like an arrow hitting the bull's mark. No deviation here and there. You have been straight to the target, questioning every aspect of employability, about the future prospect, and everything that is related to the job market and the future of especially those students who are waiting out there to go out in the field. It has been a well-deserved lecture for all of us and a learning experience. Before we close, we would like to thank you on behalf of the entire audience and me on behalf of Mind Sparkle series that you have sparkled the lecture today. It has been a sparkling session. The name justifies the lecture which you have done, and we are very, very happy to host you. Before we say goodbye to you, we'd like to hear goodbye from you also, Dr. Zafar.
Yes, sir. It's a goodbye, and hope we'll meet soon, inshallah.
Dr. Zafar, we intend to host a panel discussion on these aspects also, and I'm pretty sure that you would be one of the panelists to discuss various aspects of employability at the career prospect, because this series Mind Sparkle is to sparkle the mind of those people who are coming out of their job, coming out of their studies to get the job, to succeed in life. And for this reason, we try to host people who have succeeded in life. 15 years back, you were also at the crossroad, which our audience, most of the students are there. 20 years back, 22 years back, I was also at the same crossroad. And maybe the audience who are listening to us 15 years, 10 years down the line, they will also repeat the same cycle to the coming generation. So this is the way progress happens, chain to chain, link to link. So we are all part of this process. And Dr. Zafar, we will again meet, and I can tell you, you have been wonderful and very kind to us with all your knowledge. And lastly, I would request you before I end, please write down your email address so that people can connect with you and get mentoring from you. That is also part of the exercise which we do. So please requested to type your email address in the chat box. It has been a wonderful lesson, and I say goodbye to you and to all the audience. Thank you.
I will ask Amir to share the PPT. It is just a link, not a very big PPT that will be shared through cloud. It is a link, and anybody can access at any time.
Absolutely, we are thankful and it's a wonderful gesture. Please upload your PPT so that others can benefit. Really appreciate this gesture from you, Dr. Zafar.
I can also share the link. Just a sec. I will also share the link. It can be done from me also. So this is the link of the PPT. They can just click on the link and it will be. So this is a new skill I have learned because we were making so big PPTs on PowerPoint